Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's TX141 here, bringing you episode 2 of the World of Tanks series, You What Mate? So today I'm bringing you a gameplay of my Joseph Stalin, the tier 7 Russian heavy tank, on the map Abbey. The game in question is a tier 5 to 7 game, whereby I am the top tank, and so really you could say that the expectations are pretty much for me to go ahead and be the blitz tank, the one that's got to push through the front lines and really influence the game, as compared to, say, maybe in a tier 9 game. Now I start off by proceeding down the western flank of the map, according to the map in the bottom right hand corner here, and as you're going to see, for a good portion of the opening segment, I am pretty much alone going down this flank, and to be honest, I know I am one of the top tanks in this game, but I never like pushing a flank alone. I always like to have at least one tank behind me, or knowing that the artillery is giving me their full support, for the simple reason that, well, one tank, it just takes 2 tier 6s or 3 tier 5s to bring down 1 tier 7. So as I'm moving along, I decide to type into a chat in a minute to the rest of the team, hey, there is a third flank over here, pointing out on the map. But I carry on anyway, thinking to myself, well, if I do bump into some rough resistance, I can always pull back, because the Joseph Stalin is quite a fast tank with a whopping 122mm D25T gun. The tank destroyer on our team, in one of those Panzer, sod it, just call it a National on steroids, that's it. A National on steroids on our team realises that there's more to Abbey than just 2 lanes, and so they decide to also come over to this flank, although they'll take a little bit of time. So pushing my way up onto this central hill, I look in towards the Abbey section of the map and notice a Wolverine. So I'll take it out. With that Hugh Jackman impersonator out of the game, I decide to reverse and peer around, although I notice an enemy Type 58 has come up onto this ridge, and so I fire from third person, only tracking the Type 58 and doing no actual damage. Using the frontal armour of my tank and a slight angle, I'm able to absorb one shot. I take another shot, and I missed that shot, but really it was more of a pressure shot than an actual aimed shot. Just want to try and make the Type 58 able to push back a little bit. Their third shot goes into my manlet, so I've only taken a small bit of HP damage. And finally, the National on steroids has arrived. As a result, I decide to turn the tank around and flank round on the right hand side. I.e. the idea being that if I can approach from a different angle and our tank destroyer can hold up the Type 58 for long enough, we'll make short work of that Type 58 and whatever else may lay around the corner. Now peering out from around the corner, I notice there are no enemy tanks, and so I gradually make my way up the road, thinking to myself, just be a little cautious, they might have something camping at the back. Interestingly enough, a German toaster appears out of nowhere. Bish bash bosh, and they're gone. Tier 5 toasters always make for nice fireworks. So I move up on the road, and obviously now the Type 58 knows I'm coming. At the same time I can put a little bit of pressure up and our tank destroyer can come up as well. What I don't realise, however, is that there's a VK3001H sitting there as well. Although they're both tanks that can't really penetrate me unless they get a nice flat shot on my frontal armour. With a VK3001H out of the way due to our Jackson in the centre of the map, I put a little bit of pressure on this Type 58, and I'm soon to finish them off. Deflecting a shell at an extreme angle as they try to come around the corner. Well, at the same time I want to make sure I conserve as much health as possible, because you never know when you're going to need to take some big hits off the enemy big tiers. And so, reverse around the corner, I decide to head back towards our own base, because 2 KV3s, who are in a platoon and they're playing very well. Well, at the time I was thinking they were playing incredibly well, although some of you viewing might differ, have pushed all the way up into our base. So I just start making my way up, back up the map, knowing that there's no pressure on me. Take my time, get into a nice position. I'm going to get on that B2 ridgeline and just chill out and snipe away. While the Joseph Stalin isn't the best sniper tank, KV3s are absolutely huge, especially in a side-on profile. That means I can just take my time and plan my shots. Now, to be honest, I find the Joseph Stalin one of those tanks which you're either going to love it or you hate it. The 122mm gun has that wonderful 390 average damage, but to compensate, god-awful penetration at 175mm, and the accuracies, don't get me started on the accuracy or even the aim time. Still, I can't complain. It's my most played tank, and I think it's the tank I've got the most kills with. So I notice the KV-3's just poking the ridge. I've got no clean shots, so I just wait, move a little bit further forward into these bushes, simply because if there's an enemy tank coming up on this open ground here, I want to make sure I spot them while I'm trying to shoot at the KV-3s. I go for the one with more health, landing a nice shot there and also tracking them, and I just bide my time to fire another shot. Taking one KV-3 out of the game, I try to find a spot to shoot on the other enemy KV-3, and I'm starting to wonder, why can't I shoot to the left of the one I've just killed? And then I realise, as I zoom out, there's a rock in my way. That might have something to do with it. Silly me. But just wait, play the waiting game, because either our artillery's got to spot the KV-3, or we've got to spot the KV-3 from this ridge, especially if our team's tank destroyer, the National on steroids, also being up with me along the right. I tracked the KV-3, wished I got the kill, but can't complain. And our National on steroids finishes off the job. So I quickly push down this ridge because I know the enemy artillery are quite numerous, and as a result they'll probably be trying to take down myself and our National on steroids, because we're both tier 7s and therefore we could really influence the game. And I would say that we have done so far. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, I could push down the flank that the KV-3's pushed up on, I could push down that flank that the Jackson's pressing down on, but instead I decide to go for a little bit of shopping, going to the town. Not for a Costa coffee, mind you, to finish this game off, of course. And I'd just like to say in the interim, thank you so much for all your support in the first episode, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very grateful for that. Okay, it wasn't as many views as some of my War Thunder videos, but I don't expect that much, obviously, because a lot of you know me for War Thunder. It's just nice to see a bit of variation here and there, I think. Additionally, I will be throwing out some other videos. I've got a couple of videos to do with StarCraft 2 coming up in a couple of months' time, along with Supreme Commander. Additionally, any comments on War Thunder videos I haven't replied to, I will reply to in a month's time. When I go back to War Thunder, I'll get back in the swing of it by replying to your comments and putting out some good content, especially a new episode of War Thunder Live. Still, back to the gameplay. Coming out on this ridge, I try to give a lot of lead to this SU-85. They slam on the brakes. Bit silly of me, at that range I should have just aimed for the front of the tank and it would have got into the side armour pretty nicely. Still, we all make mistakes, and I know the enemy artillery is going to go crazy to try and kill me. So I try and come down off of this ridge. 1 shell, 2 shells, 3 shells, all landing right behind me. And the only damage I take is to my tracks, and just shy of 60 HP of damage coming off of that ridge. So, biding my time with my repair skill at 4 and 2 of my crew members, I decide to push on because I know that all that's left are 3 artillery pieces and 1 very weak National on steroids. So I push over the open ground, making sure to head to the rocks first in case the enemy artillery is trying to play tank destroyer mode, as it usually does in these in the late game. Pushing forward a little bit further, I'm starting to think, alright, what's going to happen? Enemy Hummel, prioritise the enemy tank destroyer first, that can actually kill me in a very rapid number of shots. Artillery is a little bit more debatable because it has to throw its shots over that small hill, or come into tank destroyer mode. So I aim down the sight, I'm trying to find a point to shoot this Hummel here, and I go for the very left hand side, and that's where the accuracy of the ISIS gun really comes into effect, and actually a negative effect. As you see there, it just went slightly over. But not to worry, we spotted that Hummel, and our AMX-13 F3 finished off the job for us. Good old RT, and you even say thank you in the chat. So pushing around this corner, I know I'm going to get hit by an artillery piece before the game's over. Happened to be that M12 and I respond in kind, and 6 Sense tells me I've been spotted. Thank you very much, I didn't realise that. But following all that, there's just 1 guy left to kill, and it's a Hummel. So I'm thinking, well, they're probably going to be in this back left corner because the 2 Hummels on the enemy team were platoon mates. Probably clustered together, probably trying to get 1 more kill. And I've already got my top gun, so I'm just going to take it gradually, peek around these corners. And also that gives our artillery time to aim down where I'm going and make sure they've got a shell loaded. Coming up to another sort of junction here, I start poking around, doing the forwards and backwards technique. And just gradually making my way around. And I spot the enemy Hummel. Although I throw that shot just slightly to the left. Still, the Hummel thinks at this point that they'll be able to get the drop on me while I'm reloading, as you're about to see. But not so, sir or madam. And that's how we end up with 7 kills on Abbey in a Joseph Stalin tier 7 game. Not too bad a game. Now let's take a look at some results. So from looking at the first sheet, we can see that we got just over 38,500 silver credits. Additionally, with a ×2, we got 2,728 experience. Non-premium, of course, and we got a high caliber medal and a top gun, and we got a mastery badge. What a nice game, eh? So, moving over to the second sheet, we can see that we did 2,784 damage with the 7 kills, and that we managed to obtain 1,364 experience without the ×2. It's not too bad of a haul, and that's quite a nice haul for the Joseph Stalin in my opinion. Well, I'm quite happy with it. Additionally, to note that we did a significant portion of the damage for our team, with the next highest amount of damage done on our team being 1,871 by our artillery piece. So we're not pulling away too far, but we can say that we carried our weight quite effectively. And then moving on to the third sheet, we can see that we fired 16 shots, 12 hitting, 12 penetrating. Additionally, we took quite a few hits received, blocking 750 damage with our armour, and the net result was 16,182 silver credits earned after repairs and resupply of ammunition. So it hasn't been too bad of a game, folks, and I've been TX141. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like, comment, or subscribe for future content on my channel. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I'll see you on the battlefield.